under current law, if a police officer comes to a stoplight and there's 2 lanes and next to him an individual is smoking a marijuana cigarette, the officer can see it, he can smell it, he knows it's marijuana, there's no other motor vehicle violation happening, the individual has not run a red light yet, hasn't crashed into another car head on yet, hasn't swerved across the yellow line. The law, as we passed it, says that that cannot be the reason for a stop. So while I agree with the chairman's representation that certainly if somebody's smoking marijuana and they're swerving all over the road, or they're driving, 20 miles an hour over the speed limit, or whatever, they could be pulled over. But under current law, today, as we sit here, if a police officer is stopped at a stoplight and he looks to his right and he sees the window down in the car next to him, and the individual is drinking a can of Coors Light beer, that individual can be pulled over and stopped because it's a violation of law to drink while you're driving. Now, perhaps that individual is being environmentally friendly and they're reusing a Coors Light can and they filled it with water. But the officer has the reasonable suspicion to believe that that was alcohol and can stop that person. If the exact same individual is smoking a joint where you can smell the odor of marijuana, which every police officer is trained in, he can't pull him over. The law does not make any sense. And worse, is counterproductive to the initiatives that some have in this building to attack the issue of impaired driving. Today, I will remind my colleagues very somberly that we are on track to once again have the deadliest year on record on our highways. This is a common sense amendment. It makes perfect sense for public safety. And the last thing that I will say, because we talked about racial equity when we passed the bill in 21. On March 6th, the associate director of the Yukon Institute of IMRP said for the 3rd year in a row, the data shows that there is no statistically significant racial disparities in traffic stops in this state. I think that our police officers are doing a good job. I think we have a serious issue of concern on our highways. And I applaud my colleague from the 90th for bringing this piece of legislation forward. And I hope for once we can all come together here and say, hey, let's do something that makes common sense. I hope my colleagues will support it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, sir.